abusuan for say ope baby e di wudwuma papa bi so what you say engagement wedding asori ope so ukọ serve unkrofo bi a particular place wo ye dwuma de bi won kran ka so area ho na say ope so kokọ eden ukọ serve unkrofo bi catering services rent house what you say ceremony bi a naming ceremony ayie ni nyina kona ko hu Goshen event venue ewo Kaswa Eon City more Presby kwan so ho no ma so ho a very nice place tier rubber e bi ano nche so what you say demufu ho e kama very serene environment so ho o for kona ko hu omo numbers and that screen so no from WhatsApp yo na one omo ndi edwuma bi abeso di bia on be sort out kama
okay buja fit bi na ba so na like no comment no sha manu answer there enya bi a hwe na NDC amamu a yede a Ghana amamu yi na ama wo na ezi o magic Ghana aboso a manfo dinsi hunu ye ne mo pe okuruma no sei no o manfo ansa no mbaba abamu no o mo ye campaign ka kire se FSHS no o mo do mo an ka se o mo discan be ma headmasters no mo an ka se kuduma kudibia ene mponchene ade no mama friends school kola na ye edidi say shepe so mo nti no ho so nti na ya awofo akoyede akoto abama ye ndisi fo because mo say people amamu ayede video mo mani de beblebe ungrateful people makoto abama ye ndisi we amanfo enkwala no ko school no gari ne de ma wo eya se mkoto gari ne de mo aflafi mo wa say join news for radio mo konko ye documentary mo wa YouTube for konko ye documentary one was say TVSYZ any onua for nkoye documentary you na etikuru manum say our for go into multimedia concept from graphic design video animation printing and branding na omonye farm the answer perform numbers na go screen so no afre omo
ya second jaye your mama regime I swear God they give us in the dining hall I swear your mama regime let me see your mama see your mama I swear your mama why your mama see I swear your mama Gari
omo benefiting e ka jom no nkonkoto aba mu wi school ya ka nzo nkonkoto aba na mu nzo na mu di o machini benefiting o ma nkoto NDC for our election nti Gari na mu ba wie Gari na mu ba wie wu nti oni afo ni join news o mu nkona mu nkwa document mu nya fast enye se no mu kuru wi mu enye se asem kuto na e ka nwazem no headmasters no kura e ka kira awofo se nkola na e ba school a omu fa aduane ma omu family school wo de yenko this particular man
Techiman Center we have rice. This is the food situation in Techiman Center. So you could imagine that schools around Techiman are feeding students with rice. In Kransan Table, the major food as currently as we speak is maize and beans. So you can imagine the food is one-sided. We have about 18 items. And for a very long time, we have never had all these food items in our school. Every time, every hour, we have one line item in the school. So when you have breakfast, which is very light, your expectation is that the lunch will be heavy and the supper will be heavy. But here we are. If you are taking rice in the for your lunch, in the supper you are supposed to take, let's say, rice balls. It's the same food line item that you are supposed to take. So this situation is not helping issues, and these are the reasons why we are saying that students, parents should support their wards when they are coming to school. For the quantities that they eat is normal, but the food is one-sided. We have some amount of sugar. What we lack currently is flour, oil, fritters. This is how they call it, but we have red oil. This month, government gave us some little amount of money, and that is what we use. We call it perishable. That is what we use to buy meat, fish, and sometimes tomatoes, to feed the students. So some of these things are there, but our major challenge has to do with the recurrent. Recurrent has been in arrears from 2021. The area that is suffering are the day schools. They are suffering. But for a very long time, they have not received what we call recurrent. And they don't receive perishables. So the only money that comes to them are the recurrent. So you can imagine what is happening in the day schools. And this is not now. It has been with us for some time. But as manager, we don't complain. We are not unionists. All that we do is to implement whatever policies that comes. So we don't have the right to take to the streets. All that we do is to dialogue, to write through our communique, to communicate effectively through DG to the Minister of Education. So this is the full situation as it is as far as Bono is concerned. So this is the full situation as it is as far as Bono is concerned.
So, it's a woman now, my mind is over sabotage MPP and Mamu. Knowing very well, says MPP and Mamu, and 2 or Munima by Mubi. 81 hours of my channel was Anyama we Kogu. Man, I was responsible for Anyama. Master, woman people from you or me a defeated dog, no more now, baby, no more jam. I and come to us so the Anabit we are to home. Or man to us, Master Samba, in the Munkoma by now, pen on Quajas Anyaman. MPP for Momafra Bam. That's simple as that. And this is one Tom Sola who blame me, Bibiana who blame me, MPP energy sector, yes, me, and I, senior my backo. So, for school, you are Makamadi and community.
Yes, my buying to Ubia Biner was, maybe I'm in fun. When it comes to the energy, I'm always in the middle of these things. Now, let's discuss the issue of it. Yenya Jinabo and the Becca say, Jinabo, 5 hours now, the previous government, and Jack 12 for generation. Yes, Samo. To come higher, most of our generation, 75 to 70% is thermal, which is the natural gas in a year. And about 20-25% is hydro. Thermal, no, the infama NN1. Yenfa liquid fuel, so to say, NN1. Obatama, there is only 2 companies mainly fuel dual plant, same power and AXA for use HFO and a same power for use gas or LCO. There is these VIA plants use diesel, which is what they call the DFO. But Omono for some time they've not been working because Omono is only emergencies. I'll be here diesel, no more, but the body you use. You buy in this sector. You manage the sector. Sector and that hope case out. Oh, now you have more opposition. No matter can. Oh, no more to be so full like you call off and I say they are no more boss to do. When you come and you are in power now, you have to manage the sector because there's a lot of moving parts. I na fuel ni ho enti kanya bedu mu a enya no pre because that fuel na all kase na aka 5 hours pe na asa no eye fuel a aban ne to ya na tem powerful use na ya na liquid fuel no ye to in case of an emergency. Mama example okay around October November na Asogle was off. Asogle at that time was off for 2 months. Asogle in Kwano 560 megawatts. The group and Pensubi, we did that same November, no. Car power. Now it was almost generating 450 megawatts. Now almost compared to the say, into more gas debria, now a trippy. It instead of 450 megawatts, no, now car power was only doing 54 megawatts. Until they put yourself in that situation, say, we hear car power 450, no. We hear Asogle 560, no. But Omuna ain't available. That is when you manage the sector and quickly use alternative fuel if it's available. But any alternative fuel, which is liquid fuel, you don't go say, and me or my list say, you hear $100 million to go and buy fuel. What do you think? You manage the sector. You free her, now the abesha, now what do we, now what do we? That is how the sector is run. And yes, the conversation Abeto just is saying now will be a it's not even about say there's only 5 hours of fuel because our 5 hours of fuel will be not join news no also no about 1:30. Be no kasa in the but in Koma Betoja amount for we need 90 million to avoid so and all those things. No, it's not true. WAPCO, which is West African Gas Pipeline, and the Dikrata bar last year said also more maintenance on the pipeline. Or more maintenance now, you can pass gas through the pipeline now, or more maintenance. At that time, no, there were scheduled maintenance around that time. Japan said any Munchenko January 20th, which is this year. And no, and a year idea. It was saying that during transition now, almost quarter in Kunya, almost transition. No, if there's a almost quarter about HR, 1 year for the Juma, why not? Yanika, 1 year in summer, who's near that transition. Oh, man, for 3 weeks, we did transition for almost 1 month. During transition, who cracked idea about potential outages due to maintenance. Nobody talked about it. What they were interested in is, Kabia, yes, ECG, focus, you're stopping, yes, we payment, you're stopping. The most important issues, I'm sure they can tell us they were not told because in the first interview, he said that during the transition, they were given assurances. So they knew that that issue was there. And then I'm saying, what 3 weeks? If Wufu is important, and now, like I said, so don't know about journalists because the journalists are not asking the hard questions. So, and I was say a top liquid fuel because I can't the two gano explaining, gas into me in Kotema. Into fuel plants, what tema no, how we use thermal no, or more making use liquid fuel no. I was here top liquid fuel, my woman, not almost generative. Within that 1 month, from the January 20th to February 16th, now almost so supplemented. Now, I don't think they need all that money they claim they need. They need some money, but not the 100 and something million they are claiming. They need money to get power, maybe send power in AXA. Okay? Then they can now make it up from, and then if they can pay export, exporter will be okay to run. They don't need to spend the 107 million they are talking about.
Because as we also speak, government spokesperson, Felix Pachio Fusuna or Kase even Accra alone needed about $1.2 billion to purchase fuel.
On a small county at the Minia, and you do how we are back at the craft, my Pufunashan or can you what is Accra? Where any minimum holding your my you need Accra, you need Kumati, you need Accra alone near the on Tiati, a small can on Tiati Minia. What is Accra? Your generation, I want to teach you to Accra, Yati, Kumati, Yati, Bono Reading Yati, the demand is the national demand. Max,
yes, I'm following.
Any division, it has to be divided into cells. If I'm generating for this area, into where did he get the calculation? Say, Accra, where here 1 billion, or Kotifre. Oh, and that again, my problem. We should have people who would interrogate some of these things. So, the issue at stake is that, yes, one, there is an maintenance. But, Mark, maintenance is nothing new. For the last 8 years, you know every year how many maintenance happens in the energy sector, power sector. Last year alone, there were about 5 maintenance. Now, there was a time where we get about 100 megawatts we get about 100 mm of gas from Ghana Gas. Sometime around, was it October to for about 2 weeks. Not Ghana Gas in Yajumau. Omo kofa contaminated oil be the go omo machine for 2 weeks. Now Ghana got in Nedimo. You see, you manage the sector. You know when Kasai Tama Asogli call off for 2 months. That was 560 megawatts that went off. We managed the sector and had light on. So, are there going to be problems? Yes. Can you manage it? That's the question mark. Would you now be doing all these scaremongering in the media, which the media will also help you put these sensational headlines on? The question is, problem solve it. What I say? Yeah, no near the X, Y, X, Z, and solve issues. Who buy you have not the Y, X, and solve issues. And to solve it, the data be, we think you cannot, just fuel and go, but you don't need that fuel to keep the lights on. Okay, you need a backup for in case of emergency, which is true. But we have also managed the system in times when there were no backup fuel. So that I can give you various instances that there were trips, there were shutdowns that the system was managed without any backup of liquid fuel because it's expensive. Oh, it didn't all move out. A bill of $103 million. Just it didn't all move out. A bill of $103 million. Just
for some. It's one born on my born. I don't bring journalists on my born Captain Smart more. I bet trans on radio some TV so I bet can't Ghana for it is a number. All very TV Ghana comment or comments on Bama Canada.